Oh, I'm sweating like Roger Ebert.
Hey everybody, welcome to the week 2 edition of Betting with a Speed Freak. So week 1 turned out profitable, $623 profit. Most of that coming off of a nice 4-game parlay that I hit for 803, and that was Tennessee -6, Detroit +6.5, Green Bay -3, and Baltimore to win. My other winners for the week were Sunday night. I put $100 down on Washington Redskins to win. They were, I believe, a 3.5 point underdog, but I did not take those points. I took them to win straight up, so it paid pretty nice. The $100 bet paid $260. Then the other wager I made is on Monday night when I was waiting for for Baltimore to win to hit my parlay. I just went ahead and I put $60 just down on Baltimore to win. They were a 1.5 point dog at that time, and so I didn't take the points. They didn't pay much more. I think if I had taken the 1.5 points, my $60 wager would have paid $114.60, but since I didn't, it paid $120. So the winners were 803 on the parlay, 120 on Baltimore, and 260 on Washington. So that's week 1 in the books. Let's keep it rolling into week 2. Okay, for week 2, I've got 2 single game wagers. The Philadelphia Eagles -3.5. They are at Detroit. I see that as being an easy win for the Eagles. Detroit could hardly move the ball against Chicago. The points they did score were off turnovers. Their offense hardly did anything. And now they're without their starting quarterback. Matt Stafford's out. I just see this as a really good pick. So I bet 110 on the Eagles. If it wins, it pays 210. If I bet 100, the winner would pay 91 because the sportsbook takes their little piece out of it. That's how they make their money. So if anyone has any questions about the way sports wagering works, send me a PM and I can explain more about some of the terms and stuff like that. So my next single game wager is on the Texans. They are at the Washington Redskins. Now, some people might think this pick is a little odd. I know the Redskins just beat the Cowboys last week at home, but the Cowboys were missing 2 offensive linemen, 2 starters, and that's why I bet on the Redskins. They're really not that great of a team, I don't think. They weren't able to do much offensively against the Cowboys. Their only touchdown was the one they scored on defense, when for some reason the Cowboys decided to run that play with 4 seconds left in the half. So Houston looked great against the Colts. They held the Colts to 10 points through 3 quarters. They won the game. That Arian Foster, I think is his name, went insane. Schaub is looking good with Andre Johnson. I mean, I just think Houston is rolling right now, and I don't see Washington beating them. So I've got the Houston Texans -2.5, and for that one I wagered 115 to win 215. That one wasn't paying out quite as good. I think if you bet the other side it was, but I think so many people were betting Houston, it was paying basically $1.87 for every dollar you bet. So I bet, like I said, I bet 115 to win 215. So those are my single game wagers, and then I got 2 parlays coming up. Okay, so my first parlay is a 2-team parlay. I've got the Texans -3 and the Patriots -1.5. So some of you might have noticed that the Texans were only -2.5 on my single game wager that I placed on them. Well, that's because the point spread moves. The sports books, they're just trying to keep the money equal on both sides. So if everybody's betting on one side, then they'll move the point spread to try to encourage some action on the other side. And what they're trying to do, the reason they want the money even on both sides, is they don't want their profit to be dependent on the outcome of the game. In other words, they just want to take money from the losers, get their profit out of it and then pay the winners. So here's an example of how that works. Last week, the Bears were -6.5 against the Lions, which means the Lions were +6.5. So if you bet on the Lions, you're getting 6.5 points, and if you bet on the Bears, you're giving or laying 6.5 points. So let's say I put 100 on the Lions last week, and the drunken tailgater, being the homer that he is, put 100 on his Bears. So the Bears ended up winning by 5. The Lions are getting 6.5 points, so that would be the winning side. So I win. So the way it works is drunken tailgater would lose his 100, and the sportsbook would take $9 out of it and pay me $191, which is the 100 that I wagered plus 91 in winnings. So that's how they're making their money. They're taking a cut. All they want to do is transfer money from the loser to the winner and take their cut out of it. So anyhow, that's just a little bit about point spreads and why they move and stuff like that. Now onto the parlay. It's a 2-game parlay. I already talked about the Texans game. The other one is New England. They are at the Jets. New England looked scary at Cincinnati last week. Just outright scary. Their defense looked great offensively. Gosh, they were moving that ball at will with Randy Moss and Wes Welker. Tom Brady was just on. Wow, the Patriots really surprised me. And the Jets, they looked bad. I see the Patriots winning this game by at least a touchdown. They're only giving 1.5, so that's a bargain. So I'm all over it, and that parlay, if it wins, it's a $100 parlay, and it would win $373. So that's the first parlay. It is the Texans -3 and the Patriots -1.5. It's a $100 parlay to win $373. So that's my 2-game parlay, and I've got one more. It's my 3-game parlay, and that one is 148, and it's the Eagles -3.5, the Vikings -5.5. They're hosting the Dolphins. I know the Vikings lost to the Saints last week, but I think they're going to rebound. I think their offense will get back on track, and they were undefeated at home last season. The Metrodome's going to be loud. With their D-line and linebacking core, I don't see all that wildcat and stuff they like to do with Ronnie Brown. I don't really think that's going to get anywhere, and so I think the Vikings easily win this one. And the last game on the 3-pick is the Texans -2.5. So this 3-pick is the Eagles -3.5, the Vikings -5.5, and the Texans -2.5. It's 148, and it would pay 1,009 if that one hits. So those are all my wagers for week 2. So week 1 was really good, and we're rolling into week 2. Let's keep it going. Okay, the last thing we're going to talk about is just a general theme for these sports betting vids is comments. Everyone who's been on YouTube knows that a lot of people like to come in and act really smart after the fact, which gets annoying. So here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to leave the comments open until game time. After that, on these vids, I'm going to switch them to pending approval. So therefore, if you said something about one of my picks, like I disagree with it, if you said that before the game, then you're welcome to come back and comment after the game. But if you didn't say anything before the game, I'm not going to approve your comment after the game. And then once a current week starts, I'm just going to shut down comments for the previous week. We're moving on. We do 1 week at a time. I don't want to have to go back and answer people's, smart-ass remarks from 3 weeks ago. So, yeah, it's going to be, comments will be open. They won't be pending approval or anything until game time. Then at game time, I'm going to switch them to pending approval. And I'm only approving comments from people who made a pregame comment. And then once the next week starts, I'm shutting comments down. So that's that. All right, everybody, enjoy week 2.